Yo,
Hey, what's going on, man?
ain't much, player.
I see I got this Black Ops background still pimping
Yeah,
this
I
Black
still
Ops.
haven't change that in a
This
couple
this
weeks.
game is so good.
You just love it.
Um, Loving it, loving it. How are you? Let's start off with just a quick. How are you feeling about that game? Because I've heard the first bit of negative things about it finally in the last week or so. I'm starting to get some negative press.
Sure, sure. I
So
mean,
what are you feeling?
I like it a lot. It's fast paced for any BR. There's no building to it. It's just like you and your gun and accuracy and outthinking. There's some RNG involved, of course, because it is a BR. But
Yeah,
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it, and
that
they are about to do a huge balance patch tomorrow for
awesome.
some stuff in multiplayer that's
Sweet,
kind
sweet.
of killing multiplayer for a lot of people. But even in multiplayer, like all the OP stuff, like it doesn't really bother me that much. I still do better than 99% of people, so I don't really care.
That's awesome, man. Welcome to the new meta episode 25.
Yeah, yeah. 25.
I'm the P child.
Quarter of a century.
Quarter. We're a quarter to 100.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I'm Lord Fluffy.
Yeah, 100 weeks, man. That's almost 2 years to hit episode 100. That's a pretty big milestone. So
Yeah.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Sure. Diablo.
Let's start off talking about our poll results from last week.
What do you think will happen first? Episode 100 or Diablo 4 announcement?
Uh, episode 100. That's funny. What do you think? I genuinely think episode 100.
Yeah, yeah. Probably.
What do you think?
Yeah. Before we get an announcement or before we can play it? I mean,
Oh,
play it.
before we can buy it at home, before it is officially released, I think we'll hit episode 100.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I think we'll get an announcement in March. But
Cool.
we'll go into my tinfoil hat theories in a little bit.
A March announcement for D4? Not at BlizzCon. No, I don't think. No
Um,
way. We'll get it next year. We won't get anything.
You think it's gonna be BlizzCon?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna make us wait a whole another year?
Yeah.
I'm not buying another ticket if they don't give us shit this season. Listen, Blizzard, if you want to sell those tickets, you better give me some.
No, they'll make a video and then hype it up and then
And
push
then
it
just
back
say,
another
"Oh,
year."
We're just kidding. We're not quite ready yet. Yeah, so the poll results that we had for last week, it asked what content did you want to see?
Yeah. So the poll results are in. What D3 content
And-
would you like to see the most? The winner, the clear winner, is
Which
large
surprises me.
balance patch. I love this. It must have been my people that voted the most because
It had to have been your peeps because I personally would have voted for anti-cheat. That was my vote. I voted anti-cheat, which was last place. So I'm like the only person that voted for it. And then secondly, I probably would have gone to new class.
really,
I think. Yeah.
I would have gone.
I mean, a new class kind of makes a balance patch at the same time. You have to. Because
Not
it's going to
necessarily.
definitely shift up metas unless it's complete garbage.
Right, it's
Like,
gonna
if you're
shift
gonna have
meta. But that
it's
doesn't
gonna shift
necessarily mean
metas.
balance.
which should bring a little new blood, and then
Sure.
they're going to get that balance patch. I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But
did you
yeah,
vote for?
I'm loving these results because like I could not agree more. Large balance patch. I am totally with you boys. Like awesome. Way to go. The Diablo community, they're getting 200 level IQ. I can feel it. New class, I get it.
What would you vote for
Large balance patch.
on the list, or what did you vote for?
I
Did you?
didn't even vote. But if you had to rank these 1 through 5, what did you do?
Me personally, anti-cheat one. I would say new balance patch and new character class kind of go together. Those are like one
No,
thing to me.
you
'Cause
gotta go
can't
1
have
through
one without
5.
the other. You can't.
You gotta pick
if I
one.
if I can't combine them, I'm gonna say large balance patch 2, class 3.
Okay.
Game modes 4 and items 5.
Okay.
I think we got enough items. Just fix the items we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, yeah. I would say large balance patch, new class, anti-cheat, more items, and then new maps modes, for sure. But yeah, I'm liking the results, people. You did a good job. Buff approves.
Yep.
I just actually VPN'd and voted a bunch of times. So
But, yeah. You use your influence. You're like, everybody vote for large balance patch all week long.
yeah,
On
we actually
Twitter.
had a huge like we had this like 2 hour long conversation. I played Diablo on Sunday. We had this like huge conversation, like exactly my plan of attack. If in this hypothetical situation I had to take over Blizzard, we could probably have a whole podcast on that.
Yeah,
But that was a big part of it.
yeah, that'd be that'd be interesting. We had a big conversation about the supposed leak, which we'll get into in a little bit, and then which led me into a rant about quality of life changes in an expansion, which goes along with my tinfoil hat theory on what's going to happen at BlizzCon.
Oh shit, dude! Right on.
But we can. I mean, let's just get into it, man. If we pull up the D3 at BlizzCon,
yeah.
I mean, what are we getting here?
Let's see. Yeah. So, community guide to BlizzCon 2018 on the Diablo website.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means. The steady clamor of convention prep is ringing through the halls at Anaheim Convention Center. Adventurers, as we prepare our home away from home for your arrival. Whether you're attending in person or observing all the activities from the comfort of your home, here's a handy guide to things happening at BlizzCon this year. And then they go on to talk about the panels, which there are 2, which we kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
In previous podcasts.
So I still don't know what they're going to drop in that what's next section.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how they're pulling this off and not having us riot a little bit.
You see, like, so like why would this be weird to you? Because they could still announce D2 remastered. They could still announce D3 content.
So this is kind of going to jumble up all a couple of the things in one topic right here, but I think so. The leak post that's out, which I don't think is very accurate. I think somebody just made some BS up and made a picture of it. It's very safe bets, and I think the very safe bets to take from BlizzCon are we're gonna get a Diablo 2 remaster. I think that's a guaranteed at this point.
Wow.
I can't imagine them. Like, what are they gonna give us? They said no D4, right? I don't see how you could read that post as anything but no D4 announcement.
Yeah.
For sure. So then what do they have left to give us? A Diablo 3 expansion? That's not enough for the main stage. Diablo 3 on Switch and an expansion? That's still not enough for the main stage. If that's main stage, then this is going to be a horrible BlizzCon. They have nothing coming down the pipe.
Well, but they don't, though. So that could just be how it is.
So I think we're going to get a D2 remaster announcement. I think we're going to get a character class expansion at minimum, if not a full-fledged expansion for D3.
Okay.
Which is what that leak suggests, but I think that's a safe bet, in all honesty. So.
Okay. But yeah, so if you guys maybe didn't catch the last podcast where we already talked about it, so we're opening ceremony, we're following it up with Diablo, which generally means historically there's going to be some announcements. And then a world Q&A, which it says join Diablo developers as they explore the world of Sanctuary, and then stay a while and listen as the team answers questions from the community, which is kind of crazy to me because this could go so south, I feel like, if there's nothing.
The question,
yeah.
I'm just joking. I wouldn't.
No.
Really, don't ban me from the mic. I wouldn't be rude.
No. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking like a fair question. It's just a matter of how you word it, I think. But
okay, so we're in line.
Yeah.
And I know we did this last week. Yeah. But we're in line.
What
are you
disguised.
asking?
I had to be disguised because they'll.
Yeah, you're disguised. You have a trench coat, glasses,
tap
fake
me on the
mustache.
soldier. Yeah, I would probably just be real and just be like, hey, what is your strategy? What's your plan of attack going forward to, if not a combat botting in Diablo 3, but maybe the next game going forward, and like, are we just calling it quits at this point? And like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just like, as a community, we're all just kind of wondering, and you kind of keep us in the dark. So,
and I'm a developer. Yeah, we're working on some new anti-cheats for the new title that are looking very promising.
Bullshit.
Done. That's all you're gonna get. You're gonna get some bullshit answer, man. So my question, I would say, I feel like the community has this. Let me think how to word this real quick since I'm on the spot. The community feels like there isn't any transparency or open communication lines with the development team in Diablo 3. Is this something that you guys are going to work harder on in the future? And more in the next title that you release and see what they say. And I don't really think that's really a question that needs an answer. I think that's just me saying, be transparent. I think that's, me giving a voice and saying, be transparent, please.
But yeah, we would have to be stepped out of line. So
yeah, they wouldn't let us get up there. They already know. They know our questions now. It's game over.
Yep.
So,
but there's still the kind of looming question of this little space here, which at this point could be a D2 kind of demo, maybe. Could be anything, or it could just be like, hey, hang out with your Switch. Wee.
Yeah, like they have the Switch on these long cables and suction cups or something, so you can walk around. It's like, look how fun it is to play and walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a Diablo 3 demo on Switch. That's cool. I guess. Are you gonna bring your Switch to BlizzCon?
I was thinking about. I mean, I would probably not necessarily because I want to play Diablo. I'm not gonna buy it. Like, if they give it to me, okay, sure, I'll play it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's like if somehow, some way, I win a copy or get a copy, it'd be cool to have my Switch there with me. I wasn't really planning on bringing it because I don't really think I'm gonna play it that much.
I mean, I play on the flight. It's a pretty long flight, 2.5 hours,
3 hours.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Maybe just kick the seat in front of me for 3 hours and see how pissed they get.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. I mean,
what's the Roderick Retreat? Drop by the play area with your own Switch and meet new friends, or play with the developers. So they're going to have some developers hanging around. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that
would be nice.
Be cool to bump into some developers, and at least, like, you got to remember, guys, if you're going to BlizzCon, the developers don't always get to choose what happens with the game that they love. I promise you, every one of these developers loves Diablo 3 as much as you do. So don't be rude to them, and don't be like condescending, and like, they want to fix their game, I'm sure. So, because I get that a lot, and I hear about that a lot of other developers and from people I know.
Sure.
It's like, nobody wants to go down this path. Sometimes you're forced to go down this path.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Be nice to him. Be like, yo, what up, man? I played your game for 5,000 hours. You're a cool dude. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? Make him feel good.
Sure. Suck up to him. Yeah.
Suck up.
But yeah, speaking of this thing that we kind of jumped into already, this sketch Reddit post of someone's like, oh my God, Blizzard leaks, bro. Which kind of seems sketchy.
Yeah.
Which kind of seems sketchy. Let's touch on the ones that aren't Diablo first, maybe.
Okay.
So this thing says, okay, for Overwatch, there's a cinematic with McCree, Reaper, Sombra, and Nemesis. And I guess Nemesis is a cyborg with a railgun, abilities, high jumps, electrical nets, regeneration, and call down a nuke. What does that even mean? Like, call down a nuke? Like Doomfist?
StarCraft 2 nuke style, I would think. I think it's like Doomfist-ish. Maybe they cast the nuke and run away. It takes a long time to hit the target. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't. So I love Overwatch. I think it's a great game.
Sure.
I haven't played it in a long time, though, and it's just because of time.
Sure.
It's been 9 months since I played it. I played a crap load of it when it first launched, though. I loved the game. I could see them doing a new hero.
Sure, of course.
A cyborg railgun hero. That kind of like, that's in the realm of possibilities, I guess.
But to me, it's like, if Overwatch is getting a new character, that's kind of like expansion for Overwatch, more or less.
I mean, they get new characters frequently.
Yeah, but like, that would be a decent amount of announcement. So like, why wouldn't Overwatch be the follow-up instead of Diablo? So that kind of, I mean, if this is real, which there's no way it is.
Yeah.
But like, if that was real, okay, sure.
All right. If it's real, I'm with you.
More Blizzard World skins, which one of the things that immediately strikes me as suspect is just like, this is just a list. Like, who would make this doesn't even make, like, because you scroll down, like Warcraft 1, it says, the first bullet says patch 8.1 details, nothing new from PTR. Like, why would they even write that down? Like,
yeah,
that's not obviously they're not going to say that.
Somebody that thinks that they have insight maybe made this list from their head. This isn't like an official screenshot.
Sure.
And So they're saying that they're going to do a story mode for Overwatch, which I think is very unlikely as well. I don't think that sells Overwatch copies.
Sure.
I don't think the game is designed for that. I don't think it sells copies of the game. I think it's wasted development time.
Yeah.
I think if anything, they're going to try to adapt into some kind of BR, which they've kind of said they're not going to do. So I don't know, man. I don't see that last bullet point being true either. And then Hearthstone, I don't really care about Hearthstone. Like, I like it. It's a fun game.
Sure.
But I don't play enough to really like, okay, they're going to make an expansion. Don't they have one like all the time with Hearthstone in my, so that's nothing new. The World of Warcraft stuff, patch 8.1. Well, we already have stuff from PTR there. So like that's not a note. A Fair Lost Warfront. Oh, okay. That doesn't tell us anything. Heritage armor reveal. Like, we already know we're going to get that stuff anyways. The octopus mount's cool, but it's been leaked for a while.
Yeah.
They're doing the Draenei and Blood Elf zones to be flying. Like, that's not a big announcement in my opinion. But here's the thing that really threw this list away for me is the classic WoW release date, November 19. There's no way. Absolutely no way. They're going to let us beta test it at BlizzCon.
Are they?
So they're not going to beta test it a year out. There's no way. And
I don't know. Blizzard, historically,
it says beta forever. PTR in May of 2018. May is already come and gone.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a typo? Maybe that was supposed to be 2019.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Right.
And then Classic WoW is going to be subscription based.
And that's a bullet too. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, nothing new from PTR.
That's just going to piss people off because either you're saying it's included with your WoW subscription, which is like, okay, we kind of assume that. And if you're saying that it requires its own subscription, they're not going to announce that as a selling feature.
No one
like, hey, you got to pay another $15 for this. Like, no, not going to happen.
Right.
So, Heroes of the Storm,
new heroes, blah blah blah. I don't follow Heroes of the Storm at all, man.
Okay. And the StarCraft,
no idea.
This says StarCraft. I don't know if they mean 1 or 2. I'm assuming they mean 2.
No idea.
But some additional StarCraft 2 content, which I don't really care.
Cool.
I bought StarCraft 2, the latest expansion. I can't even remember the name. Was it Protoss expansion for the last one? I think it was. I didn't even play it, man. I bought it and didn't even play it.
Same thing.
Like, not once ever. So, and then Diablo. So Diablo, they said Diablo 2 remastered announcements. That's the safest bet I've ever seen. New DLC class for Diablo 3 Druid. Like, okay. The only thing there that's kind of even remotely maybe an announcement or leak or offlandish is the Diablo spin-off beat 'em up Android and iOS game.
Beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up.
What the freak would that even mean?
I don't know.
Beat 'em up.
I don't know. Like, there are some MMOs. There are some ARPG style iOS games.
Yeah.
I played one of them a little bit just to check it out. It's called hold on, I'll tell you the name of it.
Sure.
Dragon Hunter Champions was the name of it. And it was like, for a mobile game, it was okay. The problem to me is it seemed to be heavily microtransactioned, which most mobile games are. But aside, like, if Blizzard could pull off a game similar to that, put more polish on it, dump the microtransactions a little bit, I mean, it could be something to do while taking a crap or something. Maybe,
and I don't know if you feel the same, or maybe I'm just out of touch, but like, I just feel like mobile games are like just kind of on the downward slope. Like, they're just kind of
they're not engaging and fun. Like, there has never been a mobile game that I played where I was like, this is amazing. And the problem is lack of hardware controls, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't simulate virtual buttons and shit. It just doesn't work, man. So even I'm trying to think of some of the games that, like, Tetris is an example. I actually love old school NES Tetris. I love that game. I have a Xbox in my bedroom, an Xbox One that I modded and put an NES emulator on it. I still play that once every 2 months or so. I'll throw Tetris up. You can't play it on a phone. It's the lack of hardware buttons make it not as fun. It's just not as engaging. So, same game, just not as fun.
Right.
So,
but yeah,
that's my opinion.
So yeah, this leak, I mean, it's pretty safe. It is pretty safe. I still don't, and I'm like just setting myself up to be disappointed, but I don't even know that anything is coming at this point. Like I don't even know anymore. I think
Well,
it'd be nice.
they gotta have a Netflix show.
I'd be nice. I mean, they've been
Nothing.
hinting at Druid for a really long time, so it would make
There's
sense.
gotta be something.
And
What's your guess? What do you think we're gonna get? Like, what's your guess?
what am I hopeful for, or what is my actual guess?
What do you think? Like, if you're betting money, you're putting your money on the table, $100, doubling it up if you get it
Sure.
right. What are you guessing?
I'll guess the character pack, Diablo 3 Druid, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So they're gonna get up on main stage, talk about Switch, talk about Druid class
Yep.
for 45 minutes, and then be done.
No, I don't think they'll just talk about that.
What else is there?
I mean, they'll talk about Switch. They'll talk about Switch again.
That's what I'm saying. Switch and Druid for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, what are they talking like? You talk about like World of Warcraft in the past when they haven't made announcements, they just fucking talk about WoW for 45 minutes. Like, what do you mean?
Oh my god.
Of course.
I don't know how you could squeeze 45 minutes out of that, but I guess you could.
We talk about Diablo every week for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but we're not making a big grand presentation on the main stage. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you're right. I think we are going to get that character class, and they are going to talk about Switch. And I'm hoping for something else. I want a full-fledged expansion, which
No doubt.
a full-fledged expansion could give them 45 minutes of content.
No doubt.
And this is why I think that they're going to do that. This is why I'm hopeful. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to rose-colored glasses, guys. Come on. If we didn't get anything for a year, right? We've been on the same patch for a year.
Yeah.
The reason we've been on this patch for a year is because they pulled what little development they had left to work out a full-fledged expansion, especially because Diablo 4 isn't meeting the timetables that they thought it was going to meet, which is why they had to kill the hype train, because somebody was like, you know what? There is no way we're ready to announce this shit. We have no idea when it's going to be done. We got to get them something. Let's start working on this D3. They probably already had people working on Druid class and some other things. And they're like, all right, we're shifting gears. You guys go help finish Diablo 3. We're going to hire on new people to start working on 4. We'll hold them over for at least a year with this expansion. And I think that's why we haven't got any Diablo 3 updates or balance patches, is because the whole team has been busting ass to get us a new expansion. And I think we might get to beta test it in January. I'm going to say right after Christmas.
Okay.
So we got all these new Switch users coming in November. Christmas is coming up. They can hype Switch, hype Diablo.
Yep.
They can potentially maybe tease the expansion at BlizzCon, right? And then, get Diablo on Switch, and then January, here comes this new expansion. All those new Switch owners and PlayStation 4 and Xboxes that just got sold for Christmas, January hits, or maybe even closer to Christmas, boom, here's your expansion PTR. And then come March, they can sell it.
That's interesting. That's a positive outlook, and I like it. But I kind of just think,
That's the best dream I can get. That's the best scenario I can come up with.
Sure. I mean, I could see a character pack, and I could see it more now because, like, okay, they just pumped it out to another like platform. Surely it's not just to like get it on Switch, because I think Switch is like this big phenomenon that's just going to take off and they're going to sell a bunch of copies of the same game. But maybe because like they want more platforms to sell the next character pack on, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
And it certainly make you consider, I guess, getting a Switch and Diablo for the Switch if you knew like more content was coming for the Switch or for Diablo itself. I don't know.
What if Diablo gets exclusive content on the Switch? And I'm not talking about like Ambio or whatever the little characters are you put on the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, what if Switch gets Druid first, like a month, 2 months, 3 months, exclusive?
That'd be so dumb. I mean, I hate when games like Call of Duty has they've done better about it, I think, since
Destiny did that too.
But man, when PlayStation 4 gets stuff early, like it's just like it's so infuriating, because it's just like I don't want to get that platform. I shouldn't have to get that platform. Why do you do that? You're just doing that to sell units, and it's just frustrating.
Yep.
So
move units, man.
Yep.
I don't know. That's something that I hate, and I hope they don't get into that.
Right.
So, but
yeah.
But yeah, that was the leak. I don't know. We talked about this a little bit. It's, I think it was just some dude was bored at work one day and decided he'd throw some shit up, So
no doubt.
But that, kind of brings us to the D2 remaster. And if they made it, like, I haven't played it in 20 years, 18 years, whenever it came out. So in all honesty, to me, I don't think it really matters what they do with it, because it's going to be fresh to me, at least at the playthrough, the first playthrough. It'll be fresh and cool.
And I've had that, like, people come and stream like, oh, you should play D2, you should play D2. Like, we'd love to see you play D2. And I'm just like, honestly, like, if they ever do, in fact, remaster it, like, it's going to feel so fresh to me, because I haven't touched it since, like, probably, honestly, like, 04, 05.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it'll be fresh to me too. It'll be the exact same. The story will be new. It'll be fresh. Could it be a replacement for D3 if they do it right? I mean, could this shelf D3? Like, boom, see ya.
I think, like, if we just get continued 261 and like D2 remasters around the corner, I think it could totally replace D3.
Is the multiplayer? You think the multiplayer is strong enough to keep us into it? They would have to redo some things, man. Like, how mad are the fanboys going to be if they remake it, not remaster it?
Right. And that kind of ties into what we want to talk about, what our poll is going to be for next week. Because what would they? I mean, would they keep it? Because I kind of tend to think they would just keep it true to the original, because I feel like that's a lot less decision making that way. It's a lot less like, what should we keep? What should we change? What are we going to piss people off with? So I would tend to believe that no, they wouldn't change a thing. But if they did, what would you expect them to change?
Yeah, I honestly, since it's not fresh to me, I don't really know what they should change. I've heard a lot of people complain about the stamina bar, or whatever it was that made you only be able to run so fast. I've heard that they should get rid of that. I personally think a good multiplayer overhaul would be awesome.
Sure.
I think if they can make the multiplayer, like Diablo 2 had 8 people in a game, that would be cool to me, to grab 8 buddies and go smash stuff. So if the game's fun, that's awesome. I think this game, you just play through the campaign with buddies, though. So, like, adventure mode is such a big thing for Diablo universe. Replaying the campaign with buddies is only going to be fun for how long?
Right.
I mean, I guess doing Greater Rifts is only fun for how long too? I don't know.
I think that I would love for them to do improvements. Like the strict port, I think would be really, really fun. For 2-3 months, like maybe you play every class, maybe even more. We'll just say 6 months to like a year. Like, I'm going to level up every class to the max level and, really try to get geared out, do boss runs and stuff like that. I would love to see content like where there's replayability to it, where it's not just like, oh, I'm doing Mephisto runs all day or whatever. It's like, greater rifts, stuff like that. So I mean, I would like to see it changed up a little bit. And we keep seeing stamina brought up, because it is a fair point. Stamina is exceptionally annoying within Diablo 2. And just the movement itself, like, so if you remaster it, you truly remaster it, like, it's still, I feel like the movement's still gonna feel weird. I don't know. It's gonna feel a lot slower than Diablo 3.
It looks like, I don't know, man. It's one of these things with me, like, graphically, some games hold the test of time very well.
Sure.
And I know it's 18 years old, but I tried watching some people stream it not too long ago. And I couldn't watch it very long.
Right.
Like, I was like, this looks like I'm Atari by today's standards,
Right.
And I'm like, so even if they update the graphics, if it still mechanically functions, like look how the character walks. He skated across the map. It didn't look graceful.
No.
It looked like he was just moving his legs and then moved like a sprite move, So, I mean, there's going to have to be some polish put to it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's enough, man. I think that they have to take a little liberties with
like,
it.
Picking up gold again. I mean, I can't imagine people are gonna be super psyched about that. It's kind of like, classic WoW. Like people, I feel like people
Yeah.
might get more hyped up and think about the
Yeah.
nostalgia more than they think
Yeah,
about.
that's what we talked about too. We
Right.
talked about this recently. It's like I don't think people realize how far the game's come since
Right.
Classic. Like there was no arena.
Mhm.
You had to walk to the PvP vendor like portals to queue up and stand out there for 45 minutes to an hour to wait for a queue. And you had these crap talent trees and it cost a shitload of gold to respec and like all of these things. You had to downrank skills and abilities so you run yourself out of mana. Like who wants to do that?
Yeah,
You
I don't
know,
know, man.
it's like, sure, dude, it's going to be fun for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right. But do you think 2 years from now you're going to be playing vanilla classic? Wow. Like, of course not. You know,
I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine.
I can't see myself playing it for more than a month. And people are like, oh, we're going to get these hardcore raid teams and all this. I'm like, you're going to get 40 people in some kind of voice communication. And remember why you wanted to blow your brains out when you're in Ventrilo with 40 people. Why we dropped it down to 25 and then 10, you know, because it's brutal, man. It's brutal.
But yeah,
so it'll be fun.
Yeah, the same thing I think applies for D2. It's like, and it kind of goes back to the things that we say about PoE like week after week, and like PoE has all this, like there's so much to it. There's a lot of things that are in depth, and you would never really be able to get your questions answered within the game. And so you're gonna have to pull up a bunch of websites and third party things and et cetera, et cetera. And Diablo 2, I mean, runes and like a lot of the systems that are in Diablo 2, it just like you're not gonna know what the crap it is. You're gonna have to like Google it all over again. It wasn't really a great system to begin with, and one of the things we complained about year after year in Diablo 3 was inventory space, and Diablo 2 was infinitely worse. You absolutely had to have mules. There's no shared space, and it was pretty god awful, and there was no way of getting more. So, whew. I mean,
yeah, I hope that they take some liberties with things like that, and just let the fanboys cry a little bit. You know, I think you got to appease the mass. Like you as the developer, what's right.
Right.
Like, okay, we've had this for 20 years. We know these systems need polish. Let's polish them slightly. Still try to stay true to the original, but we'll polish them slightly, and then give us a good game, man. I hope so. I hope that's what we get.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be fun. Either way, it's gonna be a ton of fun.
Kind of going back to it, we had an interesting invitation to D2. This is something that you found, or invitation to BlizzCon.
Oh yeah. So Mr. Llama SC, he's this like kind of infamous D2 speedrun player. He was invited to BlizzCon. Like Blizzard never does that to people. He was actually invited, which is kind of crazy.
Where's my invite, Blizz?
I know, right?
I'm a little upset. Blizz. Yeah, so I mean, that's gotta be. Why would they invite him if they didn't want a figurehead for Diablo 2 Remastered?
Yeah. That's
I don't know. It's a pretty big sign.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
It's kind of making me change my mind again.
You're like, well, now
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. For them to like go out of their way. And I wonder like how that's gonna, how would that be involved in their announcement? Like, would they just have him like try to, I don't know, that'd be dope to watch someone that's like just so good at the game.
Just speedrun it.
Just try to like play the new one and see how successful they could be and stuff. I mean,
if it's the same,
right? I would love that opportunity, but I'm sure he's infinitely better than I was. So,
yeah. We had some information. The vault, like you had this video, of the vault of Diablo, and this is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, so Blizzard's doing this thing where if you get a virtual ticket, you get like access to the vault, and I don't know, like we shouldn't actually have this video. It's kind of like not supposed to be online, but in this video, I think it's really interesting. One is they have this like interview with like this chick is like I forget what they call it. She like manages all their stuff, like trading.
She's their vault collector.
Vault collector, yeah. And one of the things they're talking about in this video is this D2 sculpture. Not sculpture, I'm sorry. I think it's actually a costume. Like someone was in that thing for like the old,
really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And which they have Wyatt Chang next to her. And Wyatt Chang has kind of been like gone from the scene for like the last couple of years, really. I can't remember a time where Wyatt Chang's been like around other than Quinn, when they invited Quinn to play hardcore on stage or something like that. And I remember Wyatt Chang was very involved with that, and Quinn got to like interview Wyatt Chang and stuff like that, and that was really, really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But I don't know if it's because like they pulled him off of Diablo, and like because you see his title in the video, right? And it says I forget
let me find that again real quick. I forget what it said too.
It says like principal. I don't even know. Somewhere in the video, it says his game title.
I got it. It says principal game designer.
Yeah, principal game designer. So it's like, is that for Diablo 3 or is that like?
It doesn't say.
Right.
Does it?
So like, what is he up to these days? So I'm curious about that.
I don't know.
He's a really, really nice guy, and I always liked like when he was, doing those interviews with Quinn and stuff like that. Like, he was really interesting because he's very passionate about Diablo, and
for sure, man.
I'd be excited if he was working on the next one, but I have no idea what's.
It'll be interesting to see what he's up to.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, the other interesting thing, which is kind of strange, was this guy. Not necessarily what they're talking about or him in general, but his shirt.
That's what I was just thinking. His shirt. You said it right before I did.
Yeah. So his shirt just says Diablo. Which, I mean, I've never really seen Diablo like that, right? Like where it's spelled out. The A's got like a little extension on it, and it's just like, it's probably a fairly new shirt,
It looks new.
It's definitely not like retro or anything like that.
This didn't come out of his collection from like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
So
and the bright orange too. I mean, not faded. It hasn't been washed very many times.
Right.
I don't know, man. Do you think we'll get a Diablo 1?
This to me
remaster as well?
No, this to me kind of says like, okay, so we're finally going to get an MMO ARPG, like a isometric MMORPG, which is supposed to be Diablo 4, but it's not going to be called Diablo 4. It's just Diablo. It's just like that's what it's called, Diablo. But so far,
I would lose my shit first off, but I don't know, man. Don't get my hopes up.
Sure.
I'm not even going to buy in a little bit because I'm easy to convince. So I don't even want to. I would be so ecstatic if that actually happened, but there's no way. There's no way. They wouldn't have de-hyped us if they were going to drop that.
He agrees.
Yeah, I mean he's with us. He's like, yeah, Diablo.
But I just thought that was interesting.
It is. It's a cool video to check out.
Yeah.
Though, so
worth a look.
Yep.
What's next?
And then we got how to equip a how to equip a potion thing.
So like I don't normally
we gotta tread lightly around this one.
I mean I didn't. So I tweeted it out and it got kind of upvoted, which I feel bad about. So Diablo did this kind of sponsor stream where they had Pam, Leor, Corton, Pam, I don't even know.
I don't know already. I don't know who she is.
Do kind of like she's teaming with Blizzard to like they'll do like virtual ticket giveaways, and it's on Facebook Gaming, which is just, I mean, there's two huge slams here, and so I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go check it out. So I go to Facebook Gaming, I tune in for a little bit, and like, she's never obviously played Diablo, probably. Like maybe she did once upon a time and was super, super casual back in that day, and it's like just now coming back to the game. But like people are asking her questions about Diablo, and like someone even asked like, how do I equip a potion? And like couldn't even answer that question, which I get it. That's fine. I'm not saying that she should have knowledge, but like maybe if that's the angle, just like watch Pam play Diablo for the first time, maybe, instead of being like, hey, we're teaming up with Pam to like give away.
Right.
Like I just don't like. There's so many good This is what upsets
This
me.
is
There's so many
yeah,
good Diablo streamers. There's so many good Diablo streamers. And I'm not saying like it should be
right,
me. I'm not saying it should be you. I'm not saying it should
right.
be anyone in the top 10. Like there's so many people that still stream Diablo and never stop streaming Diablo. And to me, this is such a blatant disregard for your own community because like this person has no idea what they're doing on Diablo. Like why is like
Yeah,
obviously someone likes her at Blizzard, which is cool. I'm not talking shit on this person, but like it's just like why? Why a Facebook gaming? Are you kidding? No one watches that. And two, why are we picking a non-Diablo streamer when you have a
yeah.
plethora?
I feel like it was more just PR to try to grab audience. It was like, let's find the biggest person we can partner with, potentially. I think to try to pull viewers. And I agree. I think there are so many people that have been so loyal to the game for a long time that it's this is one of the gripes that I have where I feel it's really, really hard to as a content creator that focuses his channel on Diablo.
Yeah.
It's impossible to get a hold of anybody
Sure. Yeah.
ever. And it's like I've been trying for a year and have gotten very little results. And that's fine. I mean, I get it. I'm not super massive, but
Right.
give Quinn that opportunity, or like they promote Riker frequently. He's on the
Right.
launcher,
Which was kind of funny too,
or a day
because
ago.
yeah, like an hour or two after I posted this, Riker got featured.
Yeah, on the
So,
thing. So it would be cool if there were if they at least had ways to contact and get in touch and things like that. But that's more of a content creator issue versus a community issue. But I do think they did their community a disservice
Yeah.
by doing that, because you have people genuinely interested in the game.
Right.
You need someone with some mild knowledge of the
Sure.
game to at least be able to answer basic questions, and then for the more complex ones you could direct to people that could answer those questions. Like, I don't know, maybe you should check out such and such or so and so.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
they're good.
at the very least, if they really wanted to feature this person, because she does have like 100,000 followers on Twitter, which isn't something to be slouched on. But like, I don't know, pair her up with someone that really knows what they're doing, maybe.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
And I see them do that a lot in the video game world. So for an example, Destiny did this recently where they took a couple of Destiny community members. They took some that aren't so big, that are 100-ish average viewers on Twitch. And then they took a guy that's several thousand, and they paired them up with professional athletes, because professional athletes have 15 million Twitter followers.
Yeah.
These Destiny streamers are really good. They're like, okay, let's pair these guys up, and they put a streamer who's really good at the game with the athlete who's average at best at the game, and they did like a 2v2 kind of deal, and it worked really well.
Right.
I mean, the questions could be answered by the streamers. The athletes were cool. They're like, oh shit, that's I know that guy.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I probably shouldn't. I probably dig myself deeper with Blizzard every day by tweeting out, because I was pretty nice. I said not to be negative because I love Diablo, but can we get an actual Diablo streamer behind something like this and on a platform that people actually watch? And there's so many good Diablo streamers. I don't think that's crossed the line. So, but yeah, I'm probably stabbing myself in the foot the whole time.
You're probably bringing me down with you too.
Yeah, probably. You're on the
that.
Titanic with me, buddy.
You're like, Peach, oh, isn't that guy that does the podcast with Fluffy? X, he's not coming.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, so we got some other things to talk about too, but let's get into one last little bit of Diablo topic. You said Korean prediction of Diablo announcements,
which is kind of interesting. Let me pull up as soon as the timing's right. So there's this GIF that like Korea put out that shows like Diablo 4, but then it merges into an M.
Mobile?
Right. So Korea predicts Diablo mobile.
No. I mean, if you look at the orange,
that's pretty well done though.
Redding, that is really cool. But doesn't that look just like the dude's shirt?
Yeah.
Orange theme. Yeah. The same text.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Korea? You better not be
What do you know, Korea?
What do you know, Korea?
Yeah.
What are you hacking? Yeah, I don't know, man. I Diablo 4 better not be mobile. Do they mean that Diablo 4 is is going to be mobile only. What does that mean to you?
I mean, this kind of means like, okay, your expectations are Diablo 4,
You're
and
getting
you're
mobile.
kind of right, but it's mobile.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna cry, dude. Please don't. Please don't do that to me, Blizzard.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Lost Ark beta. We'll switch
Yeah.
gears from Diablo a
Well,
little bit.
speaking of
Lost Ark
Korea,
beta. Yeah.
Lost Ark. So this game that we've been following since forever.
I want this so bad,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you have no idea.
I mean,
How
you have
awesome
no
this would
idea.
be.
Okay, I introduced you to this game. You know how long
You
I've
gave me
been
the
following
crack.
this game?
You gave me the crack.
Yeah. This game's
looks
insane
so good.
looking, dude. But I guess it goes into actual open beta in Korea this November. So that's
November. Yep.
promising. Open beta is it's like the final step before an actual release. From what I read, there's no announcement of whether or not it's coming to NA, but I assume if it does well, and I assume it would definitely be ported. So
we have to. So next podcast, I'm going to have this done. I'm going to research and find some social media of theirs, whether it's a Twitter or a Facebook page or email address. Like, we're going to get something, and we're going to have everybody from the community message them and be like, you have to bring this game to US. Like, you have to.
Right.
And if we can get 1,000, 2,000 people screaming at them, I mean, maybe that'll make enough headway to at least get, we're working on it, or we'll consider it, or maybe, or something,
Mm-hmm.
It definitely couldn't hurt us. It couldn't hurt our cause, right?
Sure.
So you're like, yeah, no.
Let's get that Pam, if you're listening.
Pam, do it for
You
us.
got 100K followers, man.
100K people.
Hook us
Get
up.
it.
You don't know
Let's do it.
Diablo, but you can do this, right?
Pam hates you. Pam's gonna be at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awkward as hell. It's gonna be so awkward. I'm gonna be in the middle, like, hey, Pam.
It wasn't me.
I don't. It was this guy.
Right.
So we got in. I switched out of Diablo, but there was one last thing that I wanted to hit up and talk about Diablo very briefly.
Yeah.
Let's get on my theory of we're going to get a full-fledged expansion for Diablo. That's what these guys have been working on. What quality of life changes do you really think? Because like I think that they could put a full-fledged expansion out. They're not going to change the end game. Greater Rifting and Nephilim Rifting is what we're going to do. I don't think that's going to change. So what quality of life improvements do you think that they should really throw in there? Because I think they can make a full-fledged expansion based on quality of life improvements alone and have it totally change the way we feel about the game.
But this kind of like we had this conversation this week too. It's like, at what point do you draw the line on quality of life improvements versus level of effort that's going to require that could be spent towards giving us something that would just increase the longevity of the game more than a quality of life improvement would. So yeah, it would be really cool to see some of the things that we've talked about time and time again, like that huge post that we looked at, like, Primal Dust and taking that. But that's a good level of effort, and as well as like, maybe putting legendary gems inside the cube and stuff like that. That would all be great, but that's way more dev effort than something like balance.
Yeah. But I think to get a full-fledged expansion, you could do those quality of life changes,
Sure.
and it feels like you got an expansion.
Right.
You could add legendary gems to the cube,
But
and that changes the way they function.
Rather see them add quality of life improvements, or like spend that time, maybe adding a damage modifier to something that doesn't have one yet?
Yeah.
I would rather see like a new build pop up than I would see,
I think the Primal Dust system would revolutionize the game in so many ways. I think that's a quality of life thing that needs to get added. Other than that, yeah. I think so the two key points that I think for quality of life, which I don't even know if it's quality of life, botting has to be addressed in an expansion, 100%.
I don't think it'll ever be addressed with Diablo 3.
You don't think so?
I don't think they can win that battle.
Primal Dust. And then Primal Dust needs to be added.
I mean, Primal Dust would be really nice, and it would definitely cater towards people that can't just dump tons and tons of hours in every season. But, that's kind of Diablo 3. again, I feel like there's a lot of things that the community focuses on. It's like, oh, we want this, we want this. Instead of like, I don't know, things that we should accept are just what Diablo 3 is already. Like we hope that going forward into future Diablo games that, okay, they're not based around sets and there's more, choice, and, maybe we don't have this like fishing thing and all this other stuff. But there's at some point where we just need to accept the fact like Diablo 3 is what it is, and we should just keep adding to that instead of asking for them to rework stuff. Because the problem is, and this is Diablo 3's history, is like, they reworked each set like 3 or 4 times when they could have, maybe just kept the sets the way they were and just added more sets, and it's this mess that happens instead of, keep adding more and more content to the game. They just like change things, and now we're at the point where, we're forever years in, we have 4 sets for every class instead of like, well, maybe we should have like 6 to 8,
right?
Because we focused on the wrong things,
Yeah, and there's been a lot of counter arguments that I've been getting lately about getting rid of sets. They think that sets get rid of build diversity, and
I agree with that, but we can't at this point in the game. There's just no way.
No. I'm saying for Diablo 4,
right?
More talk
Yeah,
absolutely.
For a new game. Absolutely no sets.
So
sure.
I personally like sets. I think they're cool. I think that there just has to be a balance struck between them.
Right.
Make sets good. I think they need to make more situational things. Like a lot of games do this where they have one set or one play style that works very well in one aspect of the game, but is horrible in other aspects, whether that's, like for example, it could be planetary if you're talking about some kind of space simulator game or something. Like one planet the set does awesome, the other planet it sucks. So things like that.
We certainly kind of have that already, like setups that are good for T13 and for speed, but for pushing they're kind
and
of
maybe
the
that's what the sets could do,
right?
And then pushing could be non-set related,
right?
So there could be a best of both worlds, I think there.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny too, because it's like that kind of gives us a taste, right? So we talk about like intelligent design a lot in this channel, where we're like, I don't think there's a ton of intelligent design going on behind Diablo, and I think to kind of prove that, it's like, so when Pestilence first came out on the Necro, it was very clear and very evident, and they were very vocal about the fact that they wanted Pestilence to be the speed setup. And so Pestilence first came out, and it was pretty garbage. I made one build, I think, that could really do T13 efficiently, but nowhere near as well as anything else could, right? And so then they buffed Pestilence in 2.6.1, and it certainly became like a huge contender for the best T13 build, like Pestilence, Blightspear, amazing T13 builds. But now Pestilence is easily the best pushing set, period. Like, no questions asked. So, but they wanted the set to be like the T13 set. They didn't have aspirations for it to be like the most dominant push setup. So it's like that, I think, is a very clear indication that it's like stuff happens by chance.
Do you think that they were supposed to have? You think it was supposed to be Tragoul's? Because Rothma or any Rothma build feels horrible solo pushing.
I think Inarius was supposed to be it, man. Because I think Inarius goes to show you, everywhere. But when it first came out, it was very, very good. And like that setup, that play style, they had shown us kind of that play style. But Inarius, you got like this bone stone around you, and you swipe at stuff. And I just think that that's kind of how they play. Like, you look at a build like Blightspear. Like, I don't think any part of Blightspear is intended. You're flying around the map, and you're trying not to get hit by anything, and everything around you is just dying like crazy. It's like, I don't think that was what they meant to happen. They want you to, like, they use a primary attack. They want you to spend resource, and they want you to, like, progress through the map, like Condemn or something like that, And even Condemn, you don't use a generator. It's like, so no one plays the game how they want.
No build uses a generator.
Right.
Like generate,
unless you need focus and restraint, right?
Yeah, and it's just there for the ring. Like no build actually uses the generator.
Right. So it's like,
because they're garbage. Because that's a whole other thing.
Sure.
But yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't know. We'll find out. This is going to be the last podcast we do before BlizzCon, obviously. So when we get back for next Tuesday, we're going to have all the juice, all the answers.
Yeah, we'll know stuff.
We'll know stuff.
Well, no
I don't
stuff.
know. I don't know how tight they're going to be on the phone policy. I'm going to be trying to share my thoughts live on my
Yeah.
Twitters.
Yeah.
And I know you will be too.
Sure.
So as long as they let us get our phones out, I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Um,
It'd be cool to
but
like.
yeah,
I don't have a laptop though. I guess it'd be cool to like live stream at the end of the day.
yeah, it would be cool. I thought about that too. I don't think my cell phone service is going to be good enough there probably to stream either. So
it's probably
we'll
that
see.
congestion thing that happens at like big public events.
Where it's like not even working.
Right.
So we got some Twitter questions. You want to?
Yeah.
Hit in those?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. The first question comes from Nephilim. He says, "Will you guys reveal your real names? No needs for last names. I'm just curious to hear them." I've said my name a couple times on my stream before.
Same.
Not often. Not very often.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you ThaPChild's social security number and home address. How's
that? I actually have your home address. If you want to play this game.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna make a joke. Oh, he's got it.
He's in trouble now. So, biggest tip of the night gets Fluff's address. No, but actually, I don't really care. My first name is Eric, so I don't really care if people know. So,
yeah, cool. Next question. I'm just kidding. No, my name's Vaughn. VON. Yeah.
Vaughn.
Yep.
Vaughn Fluff. So, Demonic Grizz says, "Would you like to see the Nemesis system from consoles come to ROS on PC?" And if you don't know what the Nemesis system is, because I didn't, I actually had to look this up
today.
No, in the past.
Oh, okay.
I've heard about it. I refreshed my memory today though, because I'm like, I think this is what it is. I'm not sure. From what I understand, because I have never actually played Diablo on a console.
Yep.
If somebody on your friends list gets killed, there's a chance that NPC will spawn in your game, and you have to kill it. And if you do, you get guaranteed loot.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Personally, I like it. So I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if it even had their name. Like let's juice it up a little bit. I don't know if it does. But if it's like a shadow of Lord Fluffy appears or something.
Or it gets more powerful, like based on how many rifts you've done without dying.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, so then he just goes around and wrecks.
Right, and then your nemesis finally spawns, and it's like
you're in hardcore and you're in the middle of a game, right? And then you hear like, you're doing a rift, just chilling, and it's like, Lord Fluffy shows up.
Entered your game.
Right, because you just ripped a hardcore character, so you're shitting yourself.
Yeah.
You haven't died all season, so you're fucked. Like, what if it went around and ripped everybody else, man? It killed all your friends too.
That'd be great.
Oh man, that'd be horrible, but awesome. Yeah, though, I think they would be cool. I think any content like that, especially if it's socially related, I think Diablo is a very social game.
Yeah.
So it ties in.
Yeah, before it.
Maester Magus says, "What would be better, jewelry always rolling sockets or legendary gems now powers you can level in the cube?" I think what he's saying is, would you rather have jewelry that always comes with sockets or legendary gems powers are now leveled in the cube, not in it. So
yeah. So legendary gems leveled in the cube, or always getting a socket. Probably always getting a socket.
I think it would be cool to not have to manage gems, but there's more reward to getting sockets in the jewelry. So I got that, by the way. Let's see. Onion Killer says, "A new feature from D3 you would like to see brought over to D4. I, for one, would love to see adventure mode in D4. I don't want to see anything in D4.
What?
No, man. I want new stuff. Adventure mode is like the tip of the iceberg. Like, I want that expanded. So, like, I want adventure mode to be like how the game is played. Yeah. I don't want a campaign where you have to go through. I want everything. But to be like that, like you just load in and then boom, where are we going? Yeah.
I would I mean, I think there's something to rifts and greater rifts that it just works. So, I mean, I'd like to see that. I don't want it to maybe be like the facet and the main point of the next generation of games, but like yeah, it's fun. And there's something like Diablo is going into a dungeon, getting a random map, and getting loot, you know,
Yeah.
on the way.
To me, I feel like I'm missing a little bit from D3. I'm missing that dungeon, that old castle feel. Like there doesn't seem, I mean, I know we have these tile sets that all the tile sets feel the same to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that they're different. Like some are open and some aren't, and some like spaghetti levels is horrible. And just there's so many bad tile sets, but they're all basically the same thing. Like
Yeah.
I want to be some drastic differences in the way they feel. Like, and it's not even like, oh, I like this one more than that one. I just want to be like every experience to be more unique.
Right.
And so that's what I really hope. I think that the random tile feature in Diablo 3 is amazing. I love the fact that no two levels are ever the same. And D4 has to have that for me.
Sure.
Like if we get static zones, then that kills it. Like part of it is like going into a new game or a new Greater Rift, getting some sweet ass, new tile set that they make for D4 that's completely random every time. That would be awesome. And especially if those tile sets vastly differ. They're just completely different experiences.
I would love to see them even expand upon that. So obviously the idea of like tiles and randomly putting together these tiles is that's a D2, D1, like that's their thing. Like that's what made these games kind of like so popular is this idea that you're kind of like randomly doing, same content. But I would love to see them there's like technology's come a long way, right? So like not just have like hundreds of thousands of tiles that you can like piece together to form maps, but like take it another like one step further and like really build upon that, and that should be like the base of the next game. Like not just like, okay, we get a bunch of tiles to choose from, but like things dynamically and drastically change and can be completely different.
That's what I mean too. It's the exact same. Like it feels now like you have a jigsaw puzzle, right? Yeah. The tile pieces are all flat like that. They're all the same horizontal like elevation, like everything. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You're just putting pieces together to an endpoint. And just like you said, procedurally generate castles and swamps and lakes and like just weird, like you go into a rift, you could be halfway through this rift and this huge ass castle is just like on the horizon, and you have to go in that. Just I want drastically different, but that castle is not the same as another one you get, like just build on it. So that's my only thing I really want to carry over from D3, and that's maybe like greater rifting, I guess, but
sure.
I think they expand on adventure mode.
Right. I mean leaderboards for sure, please.
Yeah, and whatever PvP mode that they're gonna put in, like D4 needs to have a PvP mode. It needs to, and that should have leaderboards. And then PvE leaderboards are okay too. I would like to see content challenging enough in D4 that when you kill this content and you get items from this content, whether it's a banner or wings or cosmetic, or just a bow or a weapon that's so awesome that when you see it, you're like, oh shit, that guy is cool as hell. He's got this really awesome weapon.
Right.
I want hard PvE content that's meaningful.
Sure.
Yeah. So, because you can do hard content now in the game, it's not meaningful. I mean, you can get the same loot in a T1 as you can in a Greater Rift 150. It doesn't. I mean, you have more chance at more loot, but it's not like the higher difficulty you go, the better loot you get. Yeah. It's the same loot, and I want better loot for the higher difficulties.
Right. And we want more challenge. Like I want more challenge for sure. It's like, so like one of the things I really liked about like the Wolfson Alpha was like you could fight. I don't know if you ever played it, but like you could fight like the Skeleton King basically was like the first boss, and if you failed a mechanic, which the mechanics are things that you can see, it's very much like WoW. It's like, you fail a mechanic in like a mythic raid, it's one shot, right? Like there's no question about it. And if you set it up like in a game like Diablo where, you can see the mechanics coming, there's a lot of things that will one shot you in Diablo, but you can't necessarily control those, and you can't necessarily dodge those. So I would love to see like very, very punishing mechanics that, will punish you if you mess up at all. So like I would love to see some stuff like that. Very challenging.
Not a frozen orb spawning on top of you, and you're just instantly dead, or thunder, or
cold snap, just like
just randomly
teleporting on top of you
just
with no timer on the skill or like nothing you can even guess. Like it's
just random death.
Yep.
It's like, oh, there's my cheat death. Okay, next time I'm dead.
Yeah.
So, so I'm with you on that. I think all mechanics should be avoidable, even if it's a super tight window to avoid it.
Right.
It needs to have that window to avoid it.
And I would like to, like a dodge in there too. They're like, okay, shit, I have this one, save me.
Yeah, it's like on a mini cooldown or something. A couple seconds. I'm with you.
Mobility just makes games fun. Sorry.
No, you're good. Nightwolf says, what is your most memorable build from Diablo 2? I don't remember it. I remember 20 years ago when I played it, I played a Necro. And
yeah.
I had a bunch of skeletons and shit, I think, running around with me. That's about all I remember.
I think everyone ever started up Diablo 2, made a Necro, and are like, man, they made it through like normal. And it's like, they're killing it with these skellies. And they get the mages, they get the skeletons, you get like 20 of each. And you get on to the next difficulty. And you just get slaughtered because they would just all die. And so you had to remake a character. I think everyone shared that original D2 experience.
Yeah, that was me. I definitely played Necro. I think that's the only class I ever played because, I played it 20 years ago. Some buddies all had it. We played through the campaign together one time, and then we were off to different things, man. So we didn't really stick with it.
Right on. I played D2 pretty thoroughly for a very long time. I first did the Necro mistake, and this was kind of like I don't know if it's like I was in a hole, but it wasn't like D3 planner, or D3 fans. It's not like I could just like I don't know, maybe I didn't know the places to look, or I wasn't smart enough yet. I have no idea, but there was no build guides for me when I played Diablo, and maybe because I just didn't know where to look. But so I played a Necro with a bunch of pets first. That failed. So we made a character. And I really, really wanted to make a melee Necro work. And I ended up getting pretty far with that. But it kind of hit a cap eventually because like stuff would be immune. And there's like nothing I could do about it besides like life tap them to death. And then I like kind of went legit. And I went like Frenzy Barb. And that guy was probably my most powerful dude. And I had like some life tap items, and life tap is just I would love life tap in like in any game. I just like that's one of my favorite things. I don't know why. And then the druid came out, and I made like a shapeshifter werewolf dude. And then I don't remember playing a ton of Diablo after that.
Yeah, I don't. So it was Necro. I still remember getting the skellies stacked up, and that's really about it. But it'll be interesting. That's why I think it's kind of cool. A lot of people are like you said earlier, they're saying, go play Diablo 2.
Right.
I don't want to, man. Right. If they're going to release a remaster, like, let me enjoy this to its fullest. And I think not playing it is the best way to do that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Do you think if they do a Diablo 2 remaster that they should have a copy of the original with it? If you buy it, should you get the original too?
I guess. I mean, like, Halo did that thing where you could toggle while you were playing.
Yeah, flip back to crappy graphics. Yeah, I've seen that.
I think that's kind of stupid. I would rather just like...
It's just like a reminder to be like, oh, yeah, this is what it used to look like.
I don't know. You could just pull up a YouTube video. I don't know. I would hope if that requires dev effort to like make it so that you could do that, like don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah. And then the last question that I have, Dirtnap says, if you were a lead dev on D3, what would you be working on?
I would hope to be working on what makes the game competitive. Like
for D3.
For if I was D3?
A lead dev on D3.
Okay. Misread
what
that.
What are you working on?
Balance.
Balance?
Yeah.
I have to agree at this point because we haven't had a balance patch in so long. We need it very, very bad. If we were getting our seasonal updates, albeit small, we were still getting those like we used to, I would say anti-cheat.
Okay.
And I think...
That's a tough job, man.
I know it is. I think that a lot of people have complaints with the Paragon system. And my thing is, it's like, well, I don't think the system is that bad.
Yeah.
I think not everybody gets a trophy, and I think that's kind of the system that people say they want, and I don't agree with that. But I think that the system is flawed only because people that abuse the system by cheating, by botting, have infinite playtime to make their character infinitely tougher.
Sure.
Now, I saw a video of a player who was Paragon 7,700 and something.
Mm-hmm.
It could be legit.
Sure.
But if I were a betting person,
non-season, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot, man.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's possible. Sure, man.
It's possible.
Sure.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So in a perfect scenario world where I knew 100% confidence that player was legit, I'd be like, God damn, dude, you, sir,
are a badass.
Are amazing.
Yeah.
You are an OG. You deserve all of the accolades and stuff that you get.
Yeah.
So I think I have such a sour feeling because I'm so quick now to be like, oh, he's a botter.
Sure.
You know, look at that Paragon. He's a botter. You know, and I don't want to be that way. So I think it would be cool.
I miss those days too, where like Paragon, you know, it used to mean something. It used to be like as a direct reflection of like, okay, like you play, you know, like you're here to play. So
like you're good,
right?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it would be cool to put some effort into that, and it sucks that effort has to be wasted on it. But I think it fixes the Paragon system to where people are like, oh yeah, you know, that's cool.
Sure.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Fair enough. But
that's it, man. I missed a question last week.
Okay.
Lady Giggles asked, do I snore?
Yeah.
So I didn't actually really know the answer to this question.
Really?
So I asked my wife, and I said, hey, babe, do I snore? And she instantly goes, oh, yes. And I'm like, no, I'm being serious. Do I snore? Because I think, you know, she kind of had this joking tone in her voice.
Sure.
And she was like, sometimes a little, but not bad. And I'm like, okay, I can live with that. So,
well, great. I don't like, I've got a friend that has like crazy snoring and like no one can like share a room with them. But like to me, like my dad did it growing up. So like, it just doesn't bother me at all. And Lindsay can sleep through anything. So it's not like it would never even matter even if you did snore really loud. I know I like breathe heavy, but I don't think that I snore.
Interesting. We'll see. I think I'm going to be so exhausted anyways. I can't imagine there's going to be much sleep had. You know?
Oh, I can't imagine there could be much sleep had either.
Alrighty then. So that's all I got, man. Thanks for tuning in to the New Meta episode 25. We'll be back next Tuesday with all that BlizzCon hype and juice and knowledge to talk about. So come hang out with us then.
That'll be a good one.
I'm ThaPChild. If you want to find more of me, you can catch me everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at ThaPChild.
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. And if you guys are at BlizzCon, hit us up, man.
Yeah, hit us up. There are sections in my Discord, BlizzCon 2018. You can say, you know, tell me your name, not your real name. Tell me your tag and where you're at, and we'll touch base.
Hell yeah, dude.
Make it really awkward.
Super awkward.
Super awkward.
Weird high five and everything. All right, guys. We'll see you next week after BlizzCon. Oh, my God. We're going to know some shit, boys. See ya.
All right, peace.